How's it going, YouTube? It's Granto Sabga. I know you could see me looking down at the camera, as you can see the cameras here, but today we're going to be going over how I grew a client from 7,000 followers to 60,000 followers in about 60 days. And essentially, this is going to be a free guide going over how I can help you with your business and how I kind of take my creative director role into play and how things can change in absolutely an instant. So this is one of my clients here, Wyatt King. I took him from 7K when we started working all the way to 63, and this was like a week ago. I screenshotted this. Right now he's already at 70K, I believe. But yeah, first step, what we're going over is brand diagnosis, right? Identifying messaging clarity, visual identity, tone, and existing content touch points. So, when you're looking through content, the one thing that you have to realize is that someone has already done what you're trying to do, which just means that what you're trying to do is achievable and you could even do more than what someone before you has already done, right? So with Wyatt, we were like, okay, you're at 7,000 followers. Everything about his profile was a bit rigid and we had to fix things. So I said, all right, let's look through mindset content. Who are guys you look up to? So we came to these three. This one guy here, Lumel M. He had around 36,000 followers. Hudson Cosper, he had around 76. And then Peter and Josh had around 14.2. But essentially, when you look at these guys' profiles, they're very clear on what they do, right? You look at Lumel's, rewire your focus, claim 10 plus hours a week, join the community. High ticket sales, learn what I do. Twin brothers, health is wealth. You can kind of see, even going on their profile, you can tell. Profile pictures, right? You can see that all these guys are essentially embodying what they're talking about. So if you do not have anything within your profile that embodies what you're talking about, everyone's going to be confused. When they click your profile, they're going to look at it and say, what is going on, right? Like they have a profile picture of this. They're saying they do art, but they're talking about mindset content and their bio brings me to their YouTube. It's weird, right? So you have to make things clear. Lumel does a great job at this. Hudson does a great job at this. Peter and Josh does a great job at this. But identifying what you're talking about and what the message is about and what you're trying to relay to other people in your content, whatever you're trying to post, you have to make it clear in the bio. I will always say this. In the bio is where you make it the most clear. If you are a viewer and you're looking at someone's profile right after you saw it on the explore page, the for you page, and you check their bio and it has nothing to do with the video that you just saw, you're more than likely to not follow them or engage with them because you're confused. So when you have a clear profile like this, right? Let's look at Hudson, for example. When you have a clear profile like this, you look at his video, he's talking about how to get rich and like all this other bullshit, right? You see it's high ticket sales. Learn what I do for free. Whoa, learn what you do. Okay. Right, let's click one of the links. Let's see what he does. And it's just a natural flow. It's a natural flow. Even Lumel does a great job at this as well. You see one of his videos talking about it only takes 30 minutes to change your routine, right? So then I go on his page and I say, you know what? He's right. Let me look through his page. Rewire your focus, claim 10 plus hours a week, join the community. Let me see what this community is about. I do need some help with. It's natural. It's natural. It's a natural flow. You know what I mean? So you have to be able to grab the viewer's attention as soon as they see your video. They have to be able to click your profile and know exactly what you're doing without even without a hassle. Without a hassle. So the first thing I always get to is the brand diagnostic, identifying the message clarity, visual identity, tone, and existing content touch points. Right. That brings us to the next thing. Position clarity alignment. Building around outcomes that matter, which is visibility, authority, and inbound demand. The growth is not random, it is engineered for measurable impact. So, this first screenshot right here, before position clarity, Wyatt's profile, it was a lot of it was mindset, then it was reselling, then it was this, it was that. It was just a lot of nonsense, really. Just a lot of nonsense. It was a lot of nonsense. So this is not too bad of a metric. I'll be honest. In the beginning, right? 550,000 views in a week. It's not bad, right? It's not bad. I can't even sit here and lie and say that's bad. Like, this is, what I mean, on TikTok, right? But on Instagram, as you can see, we're not looking too good, right? This is not good. In a month, 6.2K. It's not that good, right? But this is before position clarity, which just means, like I said in the previous, it's just talking about how you can clear everything up and focus on one thing. So when someone clicks on your video and sees your video, clicks on your page, they know exactly what you're doing. He was doing this without that, right? But when we fixed that within his profile, made sure everything was clear, people knew when they saw him, he was for this. When people saw him, they said, all right, that's the guy that does Z. This is the guy that does this, right? After doing that, boom. 3.4, almost 3.5 million views in 1 week. From September 17th to September 23rd, essentially 6 days. We did 3.5 million views, 19,000 profile views, 402,000 likes, 3,400 comments, and 25,000 shares. With just clearing up the profile and clearing up the content. That's it. Just cleaning up the profile, cleaning up the content, adding in the position clarity, we were able to almost 5x in amount of views. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? Almost able to 5x in views by just clearing up the profile, right? As you can see here, it even says on top, wow, your hard work is paying off. Your average play count significantly increased 258.5% in the last 30 days. 250, y'all do the math. I don't even want to do the math. And your finish rate has also improved. Keep up the momentum and consistency. Guys, and that's just on TikTok. On Instagram, we were able to do 1.7 million views in 1 month. 1.7 million views in 1 month on Instagram. And guys, if you know anything about content, I'm sure you guys know something about content if you're watching this, but if you know anything about content, you know how difficult this is. You know how difficult it is to have 1.7 million views on Instagram first starting off. I believe me and Wyatt, I started working with him. He had about like 1,000 followers. But right here is amazing. This is amazing. And this is just clearing up the profile. I'm not even getting to psychology yet. We'll get to that next, but we're not even dabbling in psychology. We're not dabbling into anything. This is just cleaning up the profile now, which brings me to my next thing. Engineering emotional retention. Each piece of content was designed around a specific psychological trigger that increases audience retention and trust, right? I'm going to kind of explain all of this in the simplest form I can, right? So proof. What is proof? Guys, if I'm telling you I'm making $20,000 a month, what do y'all expect me to do? You expect me to show you, right? Not exact numbers, but essentially if I'm saying I make 20K a month, hey, it's a nice watch, right? You got to have something in order to say something. You know what I mean? So if it's, I lost 100 pounds in 1 month, I need to see a photo. I'm just not going to take your word for it, right? Because, I mean, you could be skinny your whole life, but you told me you lost 100 pounds. It's the internet, So proof is the #1 metric. When you see guys like TJR, when you see guys like Brez, when you see guys that are big in the info space that do their business models, I guess, right? You have to realize that it's not just the fact that they're doing their business model. It's also the fact that they're living the lifestyle. They have the cars. They live in the places. They're doing these cool things. They're buying the watches. They're going to the club. That's proof in itself, right? Now, that's, for those kind of guys, right? For other people, it may just be having the watch. It may be financial freedom. It may be traveling freedom where they're going here and they're going here. But essentially something that people can see, maybe it's tangible, maybe it's not, maybe it's location, but something that people can say to themselves, yo, he's actually doing something, right? So that is proof right there, right? Then we go to credibility. Once you have proof, now we go into credibility. right? So credibility means what, right? If I'm telling you, let's say I was a day trader, right? Let's say, damn, today I made $10,000 on a trade today, right? It's a very, very good thing, right? A lot of people do not make $10,000 on a trade, right? But I would also have to show you exactly how I did it. I'd have to show you exactly how I did the trade. So when it comes to credibility, even when it comes to say I made $100,000 a month doing organic drop shipping, oh, I made $5,000 in 30 minutes on a high ticket sales call. Like whatever the case may be, you have to show with proof comes credibility when you say these things, right? It goes proof, then it goes credibility. So when you're saying something, like for example, if I was a mindset guy and I was selling a mindset like offer, like something that's like really difficult. If I was selling a mindset offer in the beginning or even with fitness, my word doesn't really mean much. So what I would do is use other people's words, right? So I would say something along the lines of, I read all three of Alex Hormozi's books, and here's one, common denominator that I saw from all three. Boom, right? Something that has someone's name that's bigger than you that everyone knows so they could listen to you, but it makes you credible, right? Or saying that I've read 1,000 books in the past 3 months, and here are 3 reasons why. Like, something that makes people on the other side of the video feel like they're going to hear some of the most valuable information they've ever heard ever in their lives. You know what I mean? So that is what I mean by credibility. Now, when it comes to proof, where you are, what you're doing, what you have, how you do it, what you're getting, what you do, how well you do it, then it comes visibility, right? Then it becomes, okay, you can have the proof, you can have the credibility. How many people can see it, right? So Andrew Tate actually talked about this, but before they blew up, they were spending thousands, tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars on their like Tate Confidential series, right? Where they would literally just travel and go places and buy cars and, like literally what they were doing currently, but like back then when they had like 10,000 subscribers, because they already had the proof, they already had the credibility, but they were lacking the visibility. They didn't have the visibility just yet, of course, right? Because we all know Tate. But they were lacking the visibility when it came down to having the proof, having the credibility, but no one knew that. So what's so important when it comes to info product content, or when you're trying to sell something online, is that yes, you can have the greatest product. Yes, you can have an immense amount of credibility, but if no one sees you, it does not matter at all, guys, right? We all know Usain Bolt, who's the second fastest man in the world, right? We all know the Wright brothers, who were the first people to fly a plane, right? Who were the second people to fly a plane, right? So visibility matters so much, because you can, even for me, like, I don't believe TJR was the first trader to post on TikTok as he claims. I just believe he was the one that made it work. He was the one that had the visibility. He had the proof, he had the credibility, but he created the visibility for himself, right? So when it comes to marketing, it's not even a matter of can you be the first one, because there's always going to be a first one, or someone that's already doing it, or someone that's even doing it better than you right now. What matters is how can you make yourself visible? That's it. If you can make yourself visible, you will always win in some form, right? Usain Bolt doesn't run these races to get the gold medal. He runs the races to be the fastest man in the world. So the medal just comes with being the fastest man in the world. You know what I mean? I don't really think he cares that much about the gold medal. So essentially what I'm trying to say is that visibility, if you can be visible, you win. If you can be visible, you win. So kind of going over everything, like I just said, proof, credibility, visibility. Now we're going into opportunity. So when you have proof, when you have credibility, and when people know, right, which would be visibility, then you can say, I have this to offer. Click this link. Buy my course. Buy my mentorship. That's when opportunity, if you can do the proof part right, if you can do the credibility part right, if you could do the visibility part, right, which is getting yourself out there, opportunity it's so easy. I know people who beg people to pay them or to learn from them, and they pay tens of thousands of dollars because these guys have the proof, they have the credibility, they have the visibility. The opportunity is it's almost as if like they don't even have to say anything anymore, you know? So a lot of you guys are trying to sell your stuff and you're wondering to yourself, why is no one buying? Okay, guys, maybe they don't trust you enough. Maybe you don't have enough visibility. Maybe you don't have enough credibility. Maybe you don't have enough proof, because the proof part, the credibility part, and the visibility part almost have to be all equal in order for you to trump that with opportunity and to make some money. But if you do not have proof, but you have credibility and visibility, you're nothing. If you only have proof and visibility but don't have any credibility, you're nothing. If you have proof and you have credibility but you have no visibility, you get nothing. So you have to have all these three before you can give someone an opportunity. You have to have all these three in order for you to give someone like an opportunity to learn from you, an opportunity to hear what you have to say, an opportunity for them to finally get something done that they've always wanted to do, essentially changing their lives. You have to have these three for people to buy from you. That's it. That's it. People to follow you, people to engage with your content, people to just do everything that you would want them to as far as a viewer stance for you to even get something out of content. But if you don't care about any of these, so be it. Forget about it. Forget about it. You'll never be anything. You'll never be nothing on social media if you do not focus on the three before you try and get to opportunity. Right, I get it. You want to make some money. We all do. Right? But you have to do it the right way. You don't want to end up like these guys that are getting scammed, or these guys that are only here for the money grab. Yeah, I'm going to make $1 million a month. Yeah, I'm going to make $1 million a month. Yeah, I'm going to believe it. Yeah, believe it. Right? If you're doing it the right way, you got to do it this way, man. There's no other way to it. But that brings me to my next slide. We're going to start talking about content now. This is very, very important. We're going to start talking about content. And we're going to talk about the content architecture. That's what I like calling it. Of course, had to bring, two of the best guys that are doing it right now, TJR and Breast Scales. But the first piece of content is awareness, right? Top of the funnel type of content. This is just bullshit. I'll be real. This is just bullshit. It all depends on what you're doing, right? So in TJR's sense, what he does really well is he brings in a lot of views. He brings it. I could say comfortably he probably brings in about 50 million views on TikTok, just because his content is so top of the funnel. Like, of course, like we're looking at it right here, how to switch up on your day ones. This has nothing to do with trading, but this is one of his top videos, right? And I think he probably got like 5 million, 6 million views on this video. But the thing is with their funnel is that they bank on the fact that they can get 6 million views on a video and like 0.01% of that converts. But even then, that's a lot of people and that's a lot of fucking money, So that's what they bank on when it comes to, these kind of things. But essentially, top of the funnel content is content that everyone's aware of. So a lot of the guys that I work with, when I talk to them about top of the funnel content, I talk about mindset. I talk about lifestyle. I talk about, cars. I talk about, things that everyone likes or can relate to, right? But if I was a day trader, or even what I'm doing right now, helping info guys with their content, and I made a video about that on TikTok, the only people who would care would be the people who are helping info guys with their content. So you have to have these structures and this architecture of content to be able to not only just get reach, to be able to get your point across, to be able for people to even like you, and then to funnel it down to content that people can actually learn from you with, then you can convert. So awareness type of content, call it AAA, we're going to get to that. But this is top of the funnel content. Buys a car, dream car, one of Breast Scales' viral video as well. Honestly, I knew about him when he first got his Lamborghini, white Lamborghini. Didn't know he did freelance brand scaling. But the fact that I saw the white Lamborghini first. I wondered what he did. Found out it was freelance brand scaling. Found out how you did. You know what I mean? So it's like you see this and you're like, damn, bro, he's in a nice area. Like TJR, for example, right? He's in a nice area. Damn, what does he do? Boom, you go on his profile. You find out who TJR is. You find out he does trading. You say, damn, I want to live this life. You know, it's like a natural process. It's all a natural process. When you're going through it, it is all a natural process. So that brings me to my next thing, which is authenticity. Authenticity. Don't we love it? And it's funny because is it authentic if it's planned? I don't know. You tell me, right? Is it authentic if it's planned? We don't know. But as you can see here, this is a terrible example. I'll be honest. I need to tighten up. This is not a good example of authenticity, especially from Brez. Something that would be more. Does he have a gun? All right, yeah, what the fuck? All right, anyways, though, but something authentic on Brez's end would be his story, right? Like how he was 19 or 18 going into college, didn't like it. He wanted to do this and he didn't want to do that, so he ended up dropping out of college. That's authentic, right? That's story. That's being vulnerable, right? It's being vulnerable. Guys, you know all of their stories. Eamon Getchi, bro. Brez, TJR, Andrew Tate, Luke Belmar, Alex G. Like, all the top guys in the space, I can almost guarantee you know their story, and they do it on purpose. Because if I can tell you, guys, my name is Granto Sabga. I am a first-generation immigrant. My parents came from Cameroon. We didn't have money. We used to drive the bus to go to school. My parents drove the bus to go to work every day. And we were struggling. I didn't have enough food to eat. You know what I mean? Because then, if that video gets 1 million views, guess how many people feel like you're connected with them? Especially in America, right? Where, you know, we have a lot of immigrants here, right? So it's like, when you can be vulnerable, you're bringing in connection. Lots of you guys are whatever y'all are doing and just posting, but no one knows who the fuck you are. No one knows about you. No one knows your story. No one knows where you came from. You're just the guy posting content. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. You'll never amount to nothing if no one knows who you are, right? They may know, hey, you're Dan that does Dan does trades, right? And Dan is so good at trading, but like, I want to know more about Dan. Where did Dan come from? Why did he start trading? What made him so disciplined? What changed his mindset? When did he know he was going to be successful at trading? Right? So when it comes to authentic type of content, that's what middle of the funnel content does. It brings in authenticity. Right? Look at this. I used to feel alone. I used to always feel alone. Right? I'm not saying that he does this because like he was only trying to get authentic type of content, but he knows that posting this type of content will bring more people in connecting to him, which will almost create a parasocial relationship between him and his viewers, which will then be more susceptible for them to buy their program or his program essentially, because he has the same story as them, because he feels the same way as them. So then you leave this video and you think to yourself, man, he's just like me. Man, he has the same story as me. You know? So this is what content does. It's exactly what it does, y'all. You know? So then when it all boils down, when you have the awareness, right? You're getting top of the funnel content, you're getting millions and millions of views. Then you have the authentic type of content where you're also getting, you know, hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of views on this. Then we're getting into our bread and butter. Bread and butter, baby. Authority. Guys, do you think that these guys are just posting this shit just to post this? Let's be real, right? Like, they're posting this for a reason. They're posting this because they know this gets them views. They're posting this because they know they're creating something, because then it all boils down to this, baby. It all boils down to this. How exactly to start freelance, or exactly how to start freelance brand scaling. Parentheses, it's easy. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. What are you talking? But look, this is bottom of the funnel content. This is bottom of the funnel content. And this is what I was bringing in before, right? What I was talking about. Proof, credibility, credibility. This is just credibility. This is just credibility in general. So, guys, they're not just going to post proof, and that's it. Guys, you have to know that they actually know what they're talking about. But guess where they do that at? They do it all on YouTube. But YouTube is the only platform where you can literally do all three of these things at once and where you can get the most conversions from. So I would even say 10,000 views on YouTube is way more valuable than 1 million views on TikTok. Can we agree on that? 10,000 views on YouTube is way more credible than 1 million views on TikTok on a video. Way more credible. But let's get talking to these, talking about this, right? So Brett talks about exactly how to start freelance brand scaling, parentheses, it's easy. And then TJR talks about how to start day trading as a beginner in 2025, 9 hours long. So let me tell you about this, guys. The reason that they make these videos is to, number one, credibility, to show you that they know what they're talking about, they know what they're doing, right? So when you are buying from these people, it's not like you're buying because it's just their life. You also want to know if they're actually doing what they're doing. So 300,000 views, insane. Almost 500,000 views on a 9-hour video. I can almost tell you the other, like, the last third is like bullshit, but 9 hours is crazy though. 9 hours is insane, right? But this goes to show that, or not even this goes to show, but these kinds of videos are to show you as a viewer that they know what the fuck they're doing, right? Because at the end of the day, I can almost guarantee, I didn't click it, I didn't show it, I should have, but there's a link in their bio that goes to their VSL, that then goes to booking a call, that then brings them, you know what I mean? So these are just ways to feel good about your decision, right? Because at the end of the day, TJR is giving you a 9-hour video on how to day trade. You don't need to buy his course, right? But it would be nice though. So that's why they give you this. So then when you're getting all this information, guys, if you watch a 9-hour YouTube video on a guy that's teaching you about a day trade, you might as well spend the $5,000 on his mentorship. You might as well, bro. 9 hours? Because then you're gonna end this video and you're gonna tell yourself, like, man, this is so, what else does he know? You know what I mean? So you're going to almost be yearning to learn from him more. So that's why authority, bottom of the funnel content is so important, because when you post things like this, people yearn to know more from you, which does what? Makes them want to buy from you more. They don't even need the money, but they will spend their last dollar just to learn from you. Their last dollar. Because when you are posting things like this, giving information for free, especially for a long amount of time, 9 hours, guys, people will yearn to learn from you. But that's why AAA, which is what I call it, AAA will always work. If you want to build a content plan and not make it difficult, AAA will always work for you. Awareness, authenticity, and authority, which is all top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, and bottom of the funnel content, right? So TikTok being top of the funnel, and I did this on purpose, by the way, TikTok being top of the funnel, Instagram being middle of the funnel, and YouTube being bottom of the funnel. If you can do this right, you will make $10,000 your first month. If you can do this right, easily if you can do this right. If you're consistent, you can do this right, easily. But let's talk about it. Let's talk about distribution system, which was why I was talking about TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. This is my dog Wyatt. I know the hair is a bit frizzy. Don't worry, you got a haircut. But your distribution system is so important, guys. A lot of y'all are posting on Instagram but not posting on TikTok. A lot of y'all are posting on TikTok but not posting on Instagram. A lot of y'all are doing both but not posting on YouTube. But from what we saw on the AAA, the content architecture kind of funnel deal, is that you need to be posting on all three. So I only brought up his Instagram and his TikTok, of course, because we're building the YouTube currently. But these two videos on Instagram got a total of around 1.1 million views, right? 1.1 million views on Instagram. Then we go down to TikTok, and the exact same videos did 3.6. So essentially, we did almost a total of 5 million views. And this was in about, like, what, 2 days, because these videos are like back to back. These are right next to each other. So this is about like a day or two. 5 million views, just based on the fact that I took the videos and I said, you know what, let's post these on Instagram. Because the first month, honestly, we weren't posting on Instagram that much. Like, we started working in August, we were not posting on Instagram. So I said, you know what, let's start posting on Instagram. Boom, 1.1 million views, right? And cross-platforming, our cross-platform posting drove a 3.2x increase in total impressions within a week. Because like I said, we did not post on Instagram at all. Our Instagram was dead. We were not posting at all. I was only focusing on TikTok. And I was like, you know what? Fuck that. Let's start posting on Instagram. Found out what the Instagram algorithm is, and boom, instantly everything changed for us. So cross-platform posting is in. You have to be doing that. If you are not cross-platform posting, you are fucking yourself over. You're posting 3 to 5 videos a day on TikTok and it goes nowhere else. You're cutting yourself short. You have to be cross-platform posting. It's the only logical way when it comes down to getting reach. It's just posting on another platform. I know guys who are posting on X that are making $1 million a month and they don't even show their face. So using every platform to your advantage will always be an advantage for you. It will never do you a disservice. Hell, if you even get 1,000 views on an Instagram video, right? If you just started posting on Instagram and you usually get like 10K or 100K on TikTok, that's great. Because you're getting more reach. You're just getting more, and you're posting the same video too. Because it's not like these two are different. These are the same video. It's the exact same video. It doesn't hurt, y'all. It absolutely does not hurt. So cross-platform post, and it will always increase your views or total impressions. It will always do. Always, right? So then, feedback loop. Let's go back. Let's talk about it, right? Iterative testing, I don't even know that's how you say it, improved average retention by 42% over the 60-day cycle. Guys, on TikTok, we ended up doing 10 million views, and on Instagram, we did the exact same. Now, don't worry about this. This is shit. I'm gonna be real. It definitely went up. But just looking at the metrics, 10 million views, 60,000 profile views, 1.2 million likes, 12K comments, almost 90,000 share. Like, it's absolutely insane what can change in 60 days. 60 days is all it took me. 60 days is all it took me to absolutely flip his entire content system, just like that in general, right? And every system that you put me in, this is exactly what I do. Because not only I believe in what I know, I believe in my creative ability, but I also believe in my clients to do the exact same things or the things that I say to get these kind of results. And mind you, we started at the bottom. I wasn't working with a guy with already like 10,000 followers. Like, I was working with him at thousands. I was working with him at 6,000 followers. 6,000, 7,000 followers. Instagram, he was at like 1,000 barely. 10 million views. Insane. And not only on TikTok, but we did the same on Instagram. 10 million, 20 million views. 20 million views in 60 days. Guys, some of y'all don't even touch 2 in 1 month. 20 million views in 2 months. From someone who didn't even have that much of reach or that much of a profile at that in general. It's so impressive, and this could be anybody, y'all. This could be anybody. But some of you are very, very, you think about the content too much. You don't know what you're posting about. You're seeing what everyone's doing, and you're saying, you know what, I'm gonna copy this person. But it doesn't fucking work for you. It doesn't work for you. So you have to realize that there's a certain way to go about it. Always. And you have to know what you're posting about. You have to know what you're posting about. Unless you want to look like a fucking idiot. That's the only way I can. You're gonna look like an idiot when you're posting about some bullshit and you're copying someone. Then you hear someone in the comments say, "Yo, this guy's fucking copying," and then you don't have nothing to yourself. Yo, so what I do is I create the system for you, tailored to you. So then once you do that, we see all of this and we say, you know what? This is you. This is how we're gonna push it, and this is exactly where we're pushing to. And you'll get numbers like this. Hell, maybe even more. Maybe even more than 20 million views in 2 months, right? It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. But let's talk about the nitty gritty. Let's talk about the nitty gritty. Audience intelligence. This one from one of my boys, Azam. Great. Audience intelligence. Understanding audience intelligence. Studied audience language, watch time, and comment tone to form the next round strategy. Guys, when I look at this, comments will always tell you what you should post next. So when I looked at my boy Azam's, content, I said, look, let's go through the comments real quick. 400 comments, and this is all I was seeing. Mind you, we didn't do no CTA. There was no CTA. There was no nothing. It was literally just everyone saying, I want to join the TikTok Shop Affiliate Program. I want to be a part of the TikTok Shop Affiliate Program. I want to be a part of the TikTok Program. I want to create the TikTok program. I want to be a part of the... So guess what the next video was? How to join the TikTok Shop. It's that easy. It's that easy because at the end of the day, the algorithm is not a computer code that's typed in and saying, it's human psychology. At the end of the day, it's human psychology. Even when we're dating back to or talking back about the proof credibility and top of the funnel content and all that, it's all human psychology. It's all human psychology. So when you're looking at this and you're showing it and you're telling yourself, man, what should I post next? Guys, go to your comments. Your comments will tell you what you should post next. I want to join the TikTok. Hell, let's do it. Boom. Easy. So this is one secret that we use all the time. I'm not going to show too much because I got to, I got an NDA and shit, but this is what we use all the time to get crazy amount of views, y'all. Simple. It's the simplest way to go about it. Simplest way to go about it. But on to the next thing. Speaking of psychology, audience psychology language. Audience psychology language. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Man, I just love this. I just love this so much. Content engineered to trigger curiosity, to trigger validation, to trigger authority, and built for how people think, not just what they see. So let's talk about the first thing. No. People have to know who you are, know how you live, know what kind of mindset you have in order to even engage with you, honestly. Not even just buy from you, but even engage with you. So what does know mean? It kind of talks about the top of the funnel content, right? Show lifestyle, mindset, environment to establish presence and aspiration alignment. What do I mean by aspiration alignment? Guys, all of us watching this had someone that we used to watch and look up to and say, man, I want to be that person one day, or I want to live that kind of life one day, or what makes this person different than me. And thinking like this brings you to this type of content here, knowing who you are. It's all a circle at the end of the day. Like, even for me making this video, I used to watch people make videos like this, and now I'm the one making the video. Because at the end of the day, it's all a circle. So the K, know, is a great way to get people to know who you are, know your mindset, know just everything about you, and almost feel like they want a piece of your life. Knowing. Now, to the next thing, we're going to talk about liking. Like, right? Humanize the brand through authenticity, humor, and shared beliefs. People connect with energy before expertise. It's simple as that. When you are posting your content, the one thing you have to realize is that, like, people can see when you're trying to sell something. So the best thing that you can do is act like you're not. It's the best thing you can do. It's just act like you're not selling something. Just act like you're not, right? So humanizing the brand, talking about like, and even dating it back to, I keep saying dating it back, but going back to even this, right? Like humanizing it. This has nothing to do, or he may be talking about how trading and changed his life or something along to that lines, but he's just talking about a story here. He's just talking about a story. This has nothing to do with freelance brand scaling, but it's authentic. It's him at the gas station. It's him, you know what I mean? Like it has nothing, even these to an extent, right? Like even these have some sort of authenticity to them because it just has nothing to do with business. So going back to this, humanizing it, talking about the brand, and just giving your profile and your self-image life is also what makes people want to engage with you, want to buy from you, and X, Y, and Z. And then the next thing would of course just be trust, right? Trust. What is trust? Demonstrating reliability, results, and authority through repetition and data. Trust is built when your message, tone, and outcomes stay aligned over time. So if you're talking about trading, like I mentioned before, if you're talking about trading and you're saying that you do trading really well, I got to see that you do trading really well in order to believe you, right? Now, we do live in a society where everyone fakes their shit and you can't really, you know what I mean? You don't really know what's real and what's not real, but I'm gonna leave that up to y'all. I believe you know what's real, not real when it comes to posting your content. And if you're posting content and you're faking it, shit, it may not be a good thing. But essentially right here, you have to realize that I would rather buy from someone with results and forget about like the knowing them and liking them only due to the fact that they have actually done it. I don't even care if I know or like you. Now, this is great when it comes to knowing and liking you and trusting you, but trusting you is a big factor, especially when it's B2B. If it's B2C, people would buy from you if they know and like you. But for B2B guys, right? People have to really, really trust you, especially if they're going into your business and doing something for you. This is a really, really, really important thing. But if you can do all these things within your content, we're not even talking about like a sales call or nothing. If you can do all of this, yeah, we're going to circle this. We're going to circle this. If you can do all of this within your content before you even get on the call, your client is closed. Before you even get on the call, your client is closed. Before anything. Because they already know your story. They already know who you are. They already know what you do. They already know where else you got. So the conversation, essentially, when it comes to doing all of this, or, making sure these are your pillars, you're cutting the conversation shorter. You're cutting the conversation shorter when you're getting on the sales call. The guy already knows who you are. The guy already knows your name. The guy already knows your results. Now it's just, okay, do you want me to help you or not? That's it. That's it. So the client is closed even before they get on the call. But just to go over everything, this is the end of the video. Just to go over everything, the systemized growth framework, each layer compounds the next, creating scalability and a repeatable growth instead of one-time wins, right? Because, guys, like you probably have a video with 500,000 views or, 1,000,000 views and you think you're hot. You think you're hot, you know what I mean? You think you're hot, right? And then it's like, damn, I can't do it again. It's a bit iffy. But diagnosis, first thing, understanding who your competition is, understanding who your inspiration is and what they're doing. Then alignment, right? What you're posting. Who are you? What you're posting about. Is your bio, does it align with what you're doing? Boom. Diagnosis, alignment. Then we're going into architecture. What are we going to be posting about? What are we going to be posting about? Because at the end of the day, even the top funnel content, like it's not going to be like, yours can be cars. For other people, it may be like fashion, right? Everyone loves fashion. Everyone loves clothes. Or it may be about mindset, where it's purely about mindset, right? It may not be cars, but it may be about mindset. But finding out what your content architecture is. Remember, AAA, understanding what your content architecture is. Then going into distribution, right? Now, there's some content that works on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. There's some that only works on Instagram and YouTube. There's some that only works on TikTok and YouTube. There's some that only works on Instagram itself. There's some that only works on YouTube itself, right? There's some that may have to use the, formerly known as Twitter X platform, right? But finding out where you want to distribute, essentially doing all of them is better, right? But finding out where you want to distribute your content and pushing it more and more and more and more, even LinkedIn, but pushing it more and more and more, finding out where to distribute your content is also very important. But once you're doing all of this, once you've done all of this, then getting into feedback, right? So what was our feedback? Our feedback within the month was 20 million views in 2 months, right? So if you're going into a month and you end the month with like 500,000 views or 250,000 views, it's not bad, but you're not doing something right. You got to push for more. You got to at least push for 1 million views a month if you actually want to start making some money. So you got to go to feedback. Then we got to go to remodeling, right? Going back into what the content has done, what was our best pieces, what pieces did not work for us, what hooks, what frameworks. Was it the cut on this B-roll? Was it this text behind this text? Was it the fact that I was in this place? Was it the hat that I was wearing, right? What was it, right? So modeling or even remodeling the content and understanding feeds back into everything, but then literally goes back into the same thing. Goes back into the diagnosis and alignment and architecture, then distribution and feedback. And you'll get to the point where we'll cut this out, right? Like modeling, we'll cut modeling out and it'll just be this. It'll just be that, like, because modeling is just for, you're trying to fix things. But hopefully when I work with you, you'll just get to this point. And then it's like clockwork. You know what I mean? But yeah, essentially that is the video. That is how I got my client 20 million views in 2 months, 60 days. But if you enjoyed this video, of course, like, subscribe. If you do want to work with me, DM me on Instagram at Grento Sabga. I will be glad to help you. And we can definitely talk over on how I can absolutely flip your entire business with just my mind. But that's all for today. Hope to see you next time. Peace.